So Tesla, he would say that he would get like his ideas and inventions, that he would have like these mystical experiences and like dreams, or I think he claimed he might have been visited by aliens before, but he like would have these things like appear to him. So we're talking like a long time ago. So we just ran that thing in 2018 and 19 was where these studies were done of the pyramids about their frequencies and the power and all that kind of stuff. He got funded by JP Morgan to do wireless telecommunications, which is kind of like radio and shit that we have today, in 1900. Okay. So he gets all this money and pull this up. It's called the Wardenclyffe. Just put Tesla Wardenclyffe Tower. And it's this weird looking spaceship thing that Tesla built. I believe it was in New Jersey. Wardenclyffe Tower. And the cliff is spelled with a Y. And it looks like unlike anything I've ever seen. Have you got it pulled up?
Yeah.
So Tesla got the funding because he's like, hey, like I want to do wireless communication, JP Morgan. Okay, so JP Morgan gives him the money, but then he's like, you know what? I'm going to scale this up. I'm going to make my power structure, okay? My power plant, basically. And he built it on top of an aquifer. He had copper and iron rods going down into the aquifer so they would get the vibrations from that aquifer. And he would run these little like, small scale experiments where he could have a light bulb be powered just through electricity that was found in the air. So basically like it's a proof of concept. Like he would run these small experiments that prove that it could work. So he brought JP Morgan out, be like, hey, yo, like, just so you know, I'm going to need more funding, but instead of it just being communication, it's going to power the world. Okay. Limitless, clean, virtually free energy by just using the properties that are abundant on Earth, which is sound, vibration, and these like rocks basically to set up this and devise this current that could then be sent out. Because you could be like, hey, like I have power coming out of the pyramid. I'm going to be over here. You have this other conductor that would hold you'd be able to transmit from the top of the pyramid to whatever machine you're working on somewhere else, and it could come through. And there's like weird hieroglyphs that kind of be like, is that what that is? Where you could see like power coming from the pyramid to that. And he shows, allegedly, the story goes, he shows JP Morgan this, and JP Morgan's like, oh fuck, I already own General Electric. I own like all these copper mines that would make copper wiring, because this is going to be wireless electricity. Okay. Like you don't have to plug your phone in. It just has power that it just sucks out of the air. Okay. As opposed to being like, I got to take this copper wire and plug it into this system. So JP Morgan had funded every single aspect of the Industrial Revolution, basically centered around electricity. He had power plants, he had oil, he had copper, he had metalworking things. He had also telephone poles to stretch the electricity and phone calls over these wires all across the country. He had it fucking soup to nuts. And Tesla's invention of this limitless, virtually free, clean energy that is done through the air and the earth would put all of that stuff out of business. It would make it all irrelevant. He owned AT&T. He owned fucking everything. JP Morgan did. So JP Morgan goes, you're in breach of contract. I'm pulling my funding. And then he basically, because JP Morgan was arguably the most powerful person in the world, blacklisted Nikola Tesla. So when you hear about Thomas Edison and, you know, he was this great inventor, and then Tesla basically dies penniless, like and is so much debt, in fact, that the bank foreclosed on that Wardenclyffe Tower. Wow. Took it all apart and sold the metal for scrap. And so it was like this once in a, not even a generation, a once in, a century type of genius who created this thing that could, in theory, it wasn't like put into mass production, obviously, could take energy out of the earth and the air and power everything. That was scrapped because there was too much money on the line for JP Morgan. And he just lost everything. And then there's also like the FBI, upon his death, seized all of his documents. So all of his like journals. Like there's all sorts of Nikola Tesla stuff that just disappeared because there's just too much money at stake.